trendsetter, bro.
I know. I'm trying.
You're the trendsetter. What's up, man? That's fine.
Yeah, we'll go anywhere but that. Yeah,
I go to Athens, Louisville.
I got a kid. I got hired on a kid, Carol.
Oh.
Yeah, but they paid.
Yeah.
I bought him double, triple. They paid.
There you go. What kind of cake is it?
Ag, battery.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, those are the common things. Somebody asked me this Discord.
I mean, you call it stuff outside.
Yeah, dude, because them fools are having court, man.
I mean,
Oh, shoot. You ever seen the show Better Call Saul?
I haven't watched it, but I watched Breaking Bad. So,
Yeah.
I haven't saw it. Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it's yes, sir. Hanging out with this guy, so don't hold that against me. All right, speak. How you doing today? I'm here, man. Beautiful day. Notwithstanding, it was a beautiful day. God is good.
Really? Hey, what's going on, Red? How you doing? I'm well, thanks. Learning to adapt to the new environment. I don't always here. Calling my head off. Next up on the end. And park 2 blocks away. You know, I really like that beautiful landscaping that they've done outside of this building.
Yeah.
Very attractive. That in a lot of ways, I think I prefer this parking space.
I was gonna say, yeah, the landscaping is do a parking space. We only have to worry about that one once a week.
In a good mood.
Yeah.
Ticket.
Hey. Somebody told me Phil Kennedy was a federal man.
Really?
That's what you know.
That's very.
Yeah. What you got there? Yeah. Not
But they haven't covered it yet.
Yeah.
They haven't made it payment.
Yeah.
Because they're waiting on the other person to determine how stuff is. So we're still waiting. So you wanted to like look at actual payment. I can make my content term company with Patrick in the case.
No, I'm good down that road, and you never know what that. Especially, well,
I mean, the other option, we can just put it up, but I'm like, you're trying to protect the other people. I mean, basic rules, this is better than I should know.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, right back on. You see a picture of that? Really? Well, you know, I moved here 4 years ago. I love it. Yeah, my kids are back in LA. I go to LA. There they are, right there. I go to this about 2.5 years ago. They're big now. Oh, you're tired of me, man.
Really? Yeah.
Oh, really? I've never seen
What are you doing?
18 months ago, I didn't see the
I just got to get up several times over the night to move. Move and sleep.
Yeah, you don't want that.
So I got to get up and drag them back.
never knew. Wow, that's my big one. He goes to USC. He's one of the coaches out there. I went there, my mom went there. But so yeah, we just didn't make it. You know, she wanted to go back. I didn't want to go back. She didn't make it. I could get her in her here. We have some issues. I mean, a little bit of a change. That's her face. Yeah. No. You're the biggie that you do. I mean, you got first one. Don't you dare to that. I can tell. That's for sure. Boy, it's a boy. Huh?
I tell my wife that.
Well, look.
Yeah, I can tell her.
I wanted a girl so bad.
I actually want.
Yeah, you got to. You got to.
I have a feeling.
Not happening. Well, my girl came so far out of this guy. So I really wanted a girl. And then a little bit.
What's going on?
Linda Hunter, yeah. To go to the arena would be just, Jason Sanders, just, he was there for what, 2, 3, 4 weeks, whatever. So the solicitor, or the EA, whatever was all, almost debate, all right, whatever. When we go back, they say 2 years of probation, and it's gone. There's $100 case. She's like, no, with me. All right. When we get up there, I can. See, I don't even know. Shortly thereafter. Better write it back. She's back. 18 months later, 2 years later, and then the girl off the side of the street goes to trial. 40 years, 50 years. I'm like, no, I didn't really see that. Well, every day I'm walking the room.
You didn't see a copy of my book.
Yeah. I remember. It's very, how you doing?
I did. We are right there.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I get lost.
I think the first attorney to do it. Not right off the highway.
I think that's the last thing. And then the guy said, who's that guy, who's that kid that works with, Joel, who wants to try to take, you remember, Joel, I think I read it. Joel said, yeah, then we're doing about one day, blah, blah, I'm like, holy crap, I remember that thing. He said, yeah, we're going to represent that. And I don't think it's I don't even know, great, that's great. You don't know. He's like, that, Dad, harder. Come down. Get someone. I don't know.
It's gonna flop out.
Huh?
It's gonna flop out. Well, I'm still on the- so-
He never emailed me.
Okay. That's cool. Get the number two. Get the number two. I'm gonna say. Okay, yeah. Okay.
Right, you got a plea or you get that out of here? You got a plea? Yeah, I remember. Are you serious? Oh, wow. Well, this is good. That's the louder. You're good at Rome. No, good at Rome. Need grant? I don't know, man. I got something to put them on account for talking because it's out of here. You know, whatever. So I got to negotiate with the league. So I'll do like on Thursday. We do negotiate a plea. No, I'm not doing it. Deputy Fixer's stuff. I'm like, what? All the time. He's like, no, you're excused. Come back to Mariana. So we keep out. But, it's funny, even if you get started, that got up and up and up. I actually thought I ran into all the trial. It's zero. I ran into a child. They're having to do a trial. I said, you know what's good? The gas. Just,
Yeah. Really, yeah.
They're covering up. Yeah, they're covering up.
Good afternoon, everyone. All right, this is City of Kennesaw Municipal Court. I'm Judge Mays. Today is plea and arraignment day. First, I appreciate everyone going through the screening process to come into the courtroom today. Please be aware to keep your mask on while you're inside the building and maintain at least 6 feet between others for good social distancing. There are hand sanitizing stations located throughout the building. Please avail yourself of those at your desire. I do want to let everyone know that all the court staff and personnel have gone through the same screening process that you did to come into the building today. All right, we have a great many on the calendar, but we're staggered through the afternoon, so there should not be very many in the courtroom at one time. We do have several cases that are ready to be heard. I'm going to go ahead and work through those cases now. First matter is City of Kennesaw versus Cade Williams. Good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Tell me about your case.
Your Honor, this is Mr. Williams. He's here with his father in the courtroom as well. He's 20 years old. He was charged with speeding, but we have spoken with Mr. Bentley, and he's agreed to reduce it. This was not typical behavior of Mr. Williams. He saw somebody that was behind him driving kind of all over the road and swerving, and so he changed lanes to get away from him and then tried to get some distance. And obviously he's learned that, maybe just stop on the side of the road and wait for that person to pass or something along those lines instead of also speeding yourself.
Certainly. Dad, if you want to come stand with your son, you're more than welcome to. I appreciate you being here. All right, let's see then. Mr. Williams, if you raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you shall give in the matter that's pending before this court shall be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and let's see, he'll be entering a plea of no contest to the speeding charge.
Yes, Your Honor.
Have you reviewed with your client his constitutional rights, including the waiver of jury trial and plea proceeding record?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you believe he understands his rights as well as the rights he's waiving by entering into this plea?
I do.
All right, Mr. Williams, do you have any questions for me about your constitutional rights or the rights that you're waiving by entering into this plea today?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm going to show you two documents. One's labeled waiver of jury trial and one is labeled plea proceeding record. Have you reviewed both of these with your attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do both of these documents contain your signature?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'll accept your waivers. And it appears the negotiated plea would be for a fine amount of $299 and completion of a defensive driving school, which has already been done. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor, and he's prepared to pay the fine in full today as well.
All right. Mr. Williams, is this the plea you'd like for me to accept?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Are you a United States citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is anyone making you or forcing you to enter this plea today?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Will you stipulate to a factual basis for the purpose of the plea?
I do.
Dad, is there anything you'd like to add? Okay, we just do appreciate you being here very much. All right, Mr. Williams, I'll accept your plea of no contest to speeding. I find that your plea is freely and voluntarily given and that there's a factual basis for your plea. The sentence of the court is a fine of $299 to be paid to the clerk today and completion of a defensive driving school, which you've already done. So upon payment of the fine, that will complete and close your case. I wish you good luck.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
You have a nice day.
You too.
We'll just go around the side right here into that little door.
City of Kennesaw versus Juan Carlos.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Christopher Coleman.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Good to see you.
Good
We
to
wanted
see you.
to thank you for having us. I wanted to say that. Appreciate it. And we have a bind over. that we
Okay,
wanted
if you'll
to
hand
take.
it to the bailiff, he'll walk it up here to me and we'll get it all signed up for you.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Nice and cool inside here, Your Honor.
It does feel good. My goodness. I know this summer hasn't been hotter than other summers we've had, but it feels like it.
You know, my son came to visit me I'm originally from California, went to USC.
Yes, sir.
The other USC, as you guys say out here, right? And he's oh, it's hot, it's hot, it's hot. I'm like, man, this ain't nothing.
That's right.
You haven't seen anything.
I think it's the masks that make it feel even hotter. or
It
more
may
humid.
be, but it's definitely been hot. I've only been here for 4 years, Your Honor, so. But I've even seen some hotter summers.
Let's see. There we go. Okay, I've got the bind over signed. I've granted your motion. We'll make sure that gets to the county.
Okay, perfect, Your Honor. That concludes my business. My excuse.
Absolutely. A pleasure to see you.
You too. Y'all take care.
Okay. It's failure to appear.
Okay, Lisa needs. See if she might. If not, I'll run up and get it.
All right, let's see. City of Kennesaw versus Tiffany Wurst. Mr. Greco? No worries. I'm going to put it to the side, but just let us know when she's here and we'll get you all taken care of, okay? City of Kennesaw versus Keaton Tipton. Mr. Harbin.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. That's a bind over.
All righty. And do you have the bind over?
I do. And my client's outside, Your Honor. I can bring her in if you need to see.
No, that's all right. That's all right. Let's see. She's got charges of a DUI, improper lane change, and looks like a failure to change her name and address on her license. Those are charges.
Correct.
All right. I've granted the motion. We'll bind the matter over. A pleasure to see you.
Thank you, Judge. No, that's okay. I don't need a copy. May I be excused?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
City of Kennesaw versus Juan Rodales Pineda. Mr. Gordon. That's all right. We'll just go again in a minute. City of Kennesaw versus James Williams. I saw Mr. Brown. He stepped outside too, didn't he? Gordon and Brown.
Yes.
There we go. Good morning. How are you?
Good, Judge. My client's coming through security right now.
Okay.
He
Do
only
do
speaks
you need a few minutes?
No, I've gone over everything with him. I have all the paperwork filled out.
Okay.
He only speaks a little bit of English, but he understands everything. It's just a plea to too fast for conditions for a fine. I don't know if the court's comfortable moving
Well-
forward. I mean, he understands everything and he wants to move forward, but I know that.
Well,
There are
we
other
have
considerations.
an interpreter who should be here when? Yeah, it may be an hour before the interpreter comes. She comes every Tuesday, but comes in the afternoon.
Right.
If he's comfortable,
I know he's comfortable. I talked to him and asked him if he wants to go ahead and do it,
okay.
as opposed to waiting. I just want to the court was comfortable.
Well, let's give it a try.
Okay. Have the documentation. Thank you. We got it. Oh, vamos. ¿Quieres cerrar su caso ahora? ¿El intérprete?
Pineda.
Okay. Yeah, Judge, he wants to move forward now.
Okay. If it feels like we're not communicating well, though, we may need to wait for the
I
interpreter.
understand, Judge.
But I certainly do understand and certainly don't want y'all to have to wait.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, this is a matter of City of Kennesaw versus Juan Rodales Pineda. Would be entering a plea of guilty to too fast for conditions. Is that correct? All right. Mr. Pineda, please raise your right hand. Other right? There we go. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you shall give in the matter that is pending before this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Quiero afirmar hablar la verdad, toda la verdad, nada más de la verdad.
Yes.
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 Have you reviewed with your client his constitutional rights and the waivers of rights necessary for this plea?
Yes, Judge.
And do you believe he understands his rights and the rights he's waiving, particularly the right to a trial by jury?
Yes, Judge.
And let's see. Do both the waiver of jury trial and plea proceeding records contain your signature and your client's signature?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Pineda, do you have any questions for me about your constitutional rights or the rights you're waiving entering into this plea?
¿Tiene preguntas sobre sus derechos o los derechos que usted está renunciando en este caso?
No, that's right.
No, Judge.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem.
I'll accept the waivers. Let's see, the negotiated plea would be a fine of $160. And that'd be paid today. He's already paid?
He can pay today. It hasn't been paid yet.
Okay. Fantastic. Then, Mr. Pineda, is this the plea you'd like for me to accept?
Esta es la declaración que usted quiere la jueza aceptar. ¿Quiere la jueza aceptar esa declaración? Sí.
He did.
Yes, Judge.
Are you a United States citizen?
¿Usted está un ciudadano de los Estados Unidos? No, Judge.
Have you reviewed with your client the potential ramifications of entering a plea of guilty to his immigration status?
Yes, Judge, and I also did, on top of that, explain that when you enter a plea to any criminal charge, there's always that possibility in the future, and he understands that.
All right. And do you believe he understands those ramifications?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. Mr. Pineda, understanding that, do you wish to move forward with your plea?
¿Usted quiere cerrar su caso hoy?
Sí.
Sí. Yes, Judge.
Yes.
Is anyone making you or forcing you to enter this plea today?
¿Hay una persona que está forzando a usted a entrar esta declaración?
No.
No.
All right. Will you stipulate to a factual basis for the purpose of the plea?
Yes, Judge.
All right. I'll accept the plea of guilty to too fast for conditions. I find that the plea is freely and voluntarily given and that there's a factual basis for the plea. The sentence of the court is a fine of $160, which our records show has actually already been paid.
Oh.
Yeah, it was paid over the internet.
Oh, okay, now I remember. Yep.
Yep.
Thank you, Judge.
So that will complete and close the case.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank
That's
you.
all I have, excuse.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, please, that'd be great, Judge. One time.
City of Kennesaw versus Jeremy Rollins.
Yeah. Perfect.
Thank you very much.
Oh, my God. Business.
Right. City of Kennesaw versus Jeremy Rollins.
Good afternoon, Judge. That's my case.
Hey, good afternoon. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. You filed a motion to bind the matter over?
Yes, sir.
All right. Be happy to grant it.
All right. Thank you so much. Y'all have a good day.
You too. Those are Mr. Greco's. He's waiting on his client. And then this is Mr. Brown, who was here, may have stepped outside. Sure. You too. Take care. Okay, that's no problem. Mr. Brown, do you need a few minutes?
Judge, I've spoken with Mr. Williams. He'd rather find it over.
Do you have one? Here you go. Come on. Yeah. There you go. I had one in the file. Yeah. What can we do for you? Right. Is she in the courtroom? Wonderful. Has she had a drug test today? Mhm. That'll work. City of Kennesaw versus Allison Wood. Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you. Let's see here. I am told that you are wrapping up your diversion.
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. And you're on diversion for underage possession of alcohol.
Yes, sir.
All right. And let's go over all this together. Tell me about your community service and what you did.
I worked at a Habitat for Humanity restore facility, and it's just a home goods consignment shop. So I helped clean up. I helped at the register. I did a little bit of everything, and I really enjoyed it. They're great people.
Do you think it's something you might continue to do?
Yes, I love
That's wonderful. You know, it's been my experience that sometimes when you have to do a little community service, you discover how rewarding it is
it. Yes,
to
sir.
do it in the first place. So I'm very pleased to hear that.
Yes,
something
I
you may
absolutely loved
continue.
it. Mhm.
That's fantastic. All right, and let's see. I see you've got the 2 letters of recommendation. Did both of the individuals who wrote these letters for you, did they understand
Yes.
why they were writing these letters? All right, and I see here. And are you in school or employed?
Yes, I start August 10th in the nursing program at Augusta University.
Fantastic. August 5th, tomorrow.
Next Monday.
Next month.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, are you excited about that?
Yeah, a little nervous, but I'm excited for a new opportunity.
Very good. Well, that is exciting. Okay, and let's see here. I see your statement admitting guilt. Okay, I think is the diversion fee paid? Have you paid the diversion fee?
Yes, sir. Mhm.
Then it looks like you have very diligently and thoroughly met the requirements for this diversion program, and I appreciate your diligence in getting it done.
Of course.
This is an opportunity that not everyone has by having a clean criminal record and qualifying otherwise for the program. By successfully completing this would mean that this would not show as a conviction on your record, which is a great benefit
Yes, sir.
forward. And the only thing that is left and remaining for this completion is going to be that you're going to need to have an alcohol and drug screen today. I'm going to ask you real quick to please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give in the matter that's pending before this court shall be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right. Are you going to pass an alcohol and drug screen today?
Yes, sir.
All right. Then let's go ahead. Let's get that done. And if you pass the alcohol and drug screen, you don't need to see me again, and I'll congratulate you in advance.
Thank you so much.
But if you do not pass the alcohol and drug screen, then we have some things to talk about.
All right.
Okay?
Sounds good.
All right. I wish you good luck.
All right.
Have a seat, and Miss Savannah will come get you, okay? Mr. Brown. Have you been? We've been well. Thank you. Are you succeeding? Are you staying with this case? Okay. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. And it's becoming easier and easier to not think about it. And that's where it gets kind of scary. It's too comfortable, even though it's very uncomfortable. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, yes, so you have to be super careful. Well, you know that anytime you need to come here, whatever business you would want to do virtually, we're more than happy to do it that way for you. Just call Linda ahead of time, and we can. Well, we are certainly trying to make everything as safe as possible. But if you ever have a concern and have something like we can do a clean abstention virtually, we can do an arraignment virtually, or whatever you need to do virtually, you just let us know. Well, I've signed the bind over, so I've granted that motion, and we'll be in good shape. And it's always a pleasure to see you.
Have a good afternoon.
You too. These are Mr. Greco's. I think he's waiting on his client. Yeah.
Do you get a pay stub?
Mm-mm.
Do you, if you do your email address?
Oh, I'd love to get a pay stub.
Wouldn't that be nice?
That'd be wonderful.
If they can blend that up. You get paid the first pay period. It's,
This was last week was the pay period, but it was the 31st. That's what I thought.
14.
For those of you who just walked in, are you here for the 2 o'clock calendar? Yes. Okay. Let me give you a few general announcements real quick. Good afternoon. My name is Judge Mays. This is the Municipal Court for the City of Kennesaw. Today is plea and arraignment day. First, I appreciate you all going through the screening process to come into the courtroom today. Please keep your mask on while you're inside the building. Maintain 6 feet of social distancing to those around you. Also, there are hand sanitizing stations that are available throughout the courtroom. Please avail yourselves of those as you see fit. I do want to let you know that all court personnel and staff have gone through the same process for screening to enter the courtroom that you did. In a few moments, I have a video I'm going to show you that contains a great deal of very useful information regarding your constitutional rights, the purpose of plea and arraignment day, what the process is for today, what your options are in moving your case forward, and some information about the types of trials that are available to you should you choose to go to trial in your case. Looks like we have a few cases that are ready to be heard. I'm going to hear those real quick, and then we'll get the video started for you. You all will have the opportunity to speak with the solicitor about your case. The solicitor will call you back privately to speak about your case and his recommendation. Let's see here. This matter is the City of Kennesaw versus Kiana Palmore.
Good morning, Your Honor. My name is Sergio Jerome. I'm the attorney for Ms. Palmore.
All right. How are you?
Doing well, and yourself?
We're doing well, thanks. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Let's see. I don't have any paperwork for the case. Do you have?
Yes, this is her plea paperwork and her waivers.
Fantastic. While we're looking at this, go ahead and tell us about your case.
All right. Ms. Palmore is here for a DUI. She was. We did negotiate a plea with the solicitor. It's going to be basically standard $1,500 fine, 40 hours community service, probation. They did agree to waive the probation fee after the first month. And Ms. Palmore is going to be getting an affidavit of first offenders today also.
Yep, this will be her first conviction, so she'd be eligible for the first conviction affidavit.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Ms. Palmore, if you'll please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you shall give in the matter that's pending before this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right. Have you reviewed with your client her constitutional rights as well as the rights she'd be waiving by entering this plea today?
Yes, we have.
And do you believe she understands those rights and the rights she's waiving?
Yes.
All right. Ms. Palmore, I'm showing you what's been marked plea proceeding record and waiver of jury trial. Have you reviewed both of these with your attorney?
Yes.
Do you have any questions for me about the rights explained and waived in either of these documents?
No.
All right. Do both of these documents contain your signature?
Yes.
I'll accept your waivers. As Mr. Jerome mentioned, it would be a fine of $1,500, 12 months probation, 1 day to serve, given credit for 1 day that has been served. So that'd be credited time served, release time served. Terms and conditions of probation that are recommended would be to abstain from the use of alcohol and drugs and be subject to random alcohol and drug tests, to obtain an alcohol and drug use evaluation and follow all further directives for treatment and counseling, to complete the risk reduction course conducted by an agency licensed by the state of Georgia and submit proof of that completion to the Georgia Department of Driver Services within 120 days of today's date. 40 hours of community service, and the probation supervisor fee would be suspended after 1 month if you've paid the fine and completed special conditions. This would result in a suspension of your driver's license, and you would be eligible for a first DUI affidavit. The only thing I would add would be to pay all fines and surcharges and complete all special conditions, at least in the first 6 months of that probation. But it sounds like you have some incentive to do it in that first month, because that can go ahead and wrap this up for you. Is this the plea that you would like for me to accept?
Yes.
Are you a United States citizen?
Yes.
Is anyone making you or forcing you to enter this plea today?
No.
Mr. Jerome, will you stipulate to a factual basis for the purpose of the plea?
Yes.
All right. Well, I'll accept your plea of guilty to driving under the influence, alcohol, less safe. I find that your plea is freely and voluntarily given and that there is a factual basis for your plea. The sentence of the court is a fine of $1,500, 12 months probation, 1 day to serve, giving credit for 1 day that has been served. I'm going to write on the sentence sheet, credit time served, release time served, just to be super clear. While on probation, you'll abstain from the use of alcohol and drugs and be subject to random alcohol and drug test. You will need to have the alcohol and drug use evaluation and follow any other treatment that's recommended from that evaluation. Complete the risk reduction course in 120 days, 40 hours of community service, and the other terms and conditions of probation regarding the timing of it, the suspension of fee after 1 month if all has been paid and completed, and to pay all fines and complete all conditions in the first 6 months of the probation. That will be the order of the court. Will produce the affidavit of first conviction for you. This will result in your license being suspended. Do you have your license with you today? All right, you'll need to meet with a police officer, and he will help you with the service of that suspension and delivering you your affidavit as well. All right, I wish you good luck. If you'll have a seat, you're also going to need to speak with probation before you leave, and they'll call you back in just a moment.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Mr. Jerome, a pleasure to see you.
You also, Your Honor.
Great. Yep, I told her she didn't need to see me again if she passes. That's wonderful. Good, good, good. So let's see, we're going to fire up the video here in a second, but first, Mr. Greco, any ETA on your client? Okay, I just wanted to ask because I'm about to show the video, and it's about 10 minutes. Okay, then Madam Clerk, if you'll fire it up, that'd be great. I'll be right back. Very much. Yes, she said she had it. Hello, I'm Judge Luke Mays. Welcome to Municipal Court Plea and Arraignment Day. There are 3 areas I would like to cover with you before we get started. First, your constitutional rights. Second, the purpose of Plea and Arraignment Day. And third, I will briefly explain the trial process. With regards to your constitutional rights, you have the same basic fundamental constitutional rights that apply in all other courts. Your constitutional rights are the presumption of innocence. You are considered innocent before this court until proven guilty. The right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney. You may hire your own lawyer if you like, or if you qualify, you may get a court-appointed public defender. In any case before this court, we encourage you to have a lawyer. A lawyer's job is to provide legal advice, which can help you decide how best to resolve your case. Please understand that the people that work in the court system, the clerks, the bailiffs, the judge, and the police officers are not allowed to give you legal advice and are not allowed to evaluate your case or tell you how best to handle it. This is the job of an attorney, which is why we recommend that you have a lawyer. You have the right to a trial. There are 2 types of trials, a jury trial and a non-jury trial. At any trial, you have the right to cross-examine witnesses that are brought to testify against you. You have the right to bring documents, evidence, or other witnesses to testify, and you may choose to testify on your own behalf. If you have any particular questions about your constitutional rights or need a more detailed explanation, please let the judge know when your case is called and these rights can be explained again. What is the purpose of plea and arraignment day? Plea and arraignment day is not a trial day. It is a pre-trial day. Today is a day we use to get cases resolved that can be resolved without a trial. Those cases that cannot get resolved get moved over to a special day specifically set up for trials. Please note that on plea and arraignment days, police officers are not required to be in court. Therefore, you will not see them here today. Police officers are here on trial days, and in fact, the court requires them to be present for trial. The arraignment portion of today is to make sure you understand your constitutional rights, which we have just reviewed, what you have been charged with and what your ticket is for, and the potential maximum penalty you may receive per ticket or per charge. The maximum penalties for each charge are generally governed by state law. It does not matter who writes the ticket. The same maximum penalty applies. For most offenses under state law, a maximum penalty can be up to a $1,000 fine plus state taxes and surcharges and or up to 1 year in jail. The solicitor will review the maximum penalties for your case with you individually. This is not to say that you are going to receive the maximum penalty. Just please be aware of what the maximum penalties are for your case. Some charges have mandatory penalties attached to them. These are the bigger cases such as DUIs, driving with a suspended license, driving with a suspended registration, and driving without insurance. These types of cases can carry mandatory minimum jail time, mandatory license suspensions, mandatory requirements that you attend a defensive driving school, or mandatory requirements to complete a certain number of community service hours. If you have a case that requires mandatory penalties, we will let you know what those penalties are. Also, please be aware that if you are in a situation where there are repeat offenses, the fines and penalties may be higher. The plea portion of plea and arraignment day is to give you the opportunity to enter a plea. Generally, there are 3 types of pleas that you have the right to enter. The first is a guilty plea, and the second is a plea of not guilty, and the third is a nolo contendere plea, which is often called no contest. There is no 4th category called guilty with an explanation. It simply does not exist. It is possible that you were told to come to court, see the judge, tell the judge that you were guilty, and then give a 20-minute explanation about why you did what you did in hopes of lessening the penalties associated with your charge. That does not work in this court. The reason that it does not work is because we do not negotiate fine amounts. For every offense, there is a preset fine amount. Please understand that the fine is the same regardless of whether you mailed your payment to the court, paid at the window earlier today before we got started, or if you wait to plead your case in front of the judge. The fine schedule stays the same, and the fine amounts do not change. This may be different than what you've heard or seen in other courts, but the reason why we follow a set fine schedule and do not negotiate fine amounts is because we want to treat the same types of cases the same way. By using a set fine schedule, we are able to treat people that have the same types of tickets the same way. It is a way to be consistent with everybody here today and with the people that came to court last week, last month, or last year. There are no surprises in the system. By treating similar cases in similar ways, we are able to be consistent and predictable, which results in a more fair system to everyone. The first type of plea you may enter is a plea of guilty. In entering a guilty plea, you are admitting to the allegations of the city against you, and you are accepting the penalties associated with that offense as recommended by state law and the solicitor. You can enter a guilty plea by speaking with the solicitor about your case and presenting your guilty plea to the judge in court. If you were told that your offense was a payable offense, you can skip this process and go to the clerk's window at any time to pay the fine and close your case. The second type of plea you may enter is a plea of not guilty. In entering a not guilty plea, you are disputing the allegations of the city against you. In this situation, your case will be set for a trial at a later date. The final type of plea you may enter is a plea of nolo contendere. A nolo contendere plea is also called a no contest plea. You are not admitting guilt with this plea, but you are also not contesting the prosecutor's ability to prove your guilt. Not everybody qualifies for a no contest plea. Whether or not you qualify for a no contest plea depends upon your driver's history, your criminal history, and the nature of your charge. No contest pleas do appear on your driver's history. The general benefit of a no contest plea for certain traffic tickets is that such a plea can save you points against your driver's license. Entering a plea of no contest does not change the fine or penalty associated with your offense. The fines and penalties remain the same. The general drawback of entering a plea of no contest is that you can only enter a no contest plea once every 5 years. If you are not sure whether it is the best time to use a no contest plea, you should speak with a lawyer who can advise you further. As we work through the afternoon, we will make no contest pleas available, and the clerks will have further instructions in just a few moments. Finally, it is important to have a brief overview of the trial process. If you enter a plea of not guilty, your case will proceed to trial. There are two types of trials. The first type of trial is a bench trial. In a bench trial, your case will be heard by and decided by the judge without a jury. The other type of trial is a jury trial. In a jury trial, your case will take place in state court and will be heard and decided upon by a jury of your peers. In both cases, you will have the ability to cross-examine witnesses that are brought to testify against you, the right to bring documents, evidence, and witnesses to testify on your behalf, and the right to testify yourself on your own behalf. On trial days, there is no set fine schedule, and we cannot control what happens in the county if you decide to have a trial there. You are strongly encouraged to have a lawyer if you choose to proceed to trial. Lawyers can help you with trial procedure, the rules of evidence, and all other court rules. Lawyers can also help you evaluate your case and prepare your legal defenses. Finally, lawyers can help you avoid saying things in court that may hurt your case. When people come to court without a lawyer, they want to present an explanation. Sometimes these explanations result in testimony that makes the situation worse or reveals aggravating circumstances about their case. Overall, it is important to understand that lawyers can help you find the best way to resolve your case and can ensure that you do not accidentally harm your case. Now that we've discussed your constitutional rights, the purpose of plea and arraignment day, and the trial process, we're about ready to get started. For those of you who have payable offenses and wish to pay your fine and complete your case, The clerks will give you instructions on how to do that in a moment. Also, there may be an opportunity to reset your case to a later calendar. The clerk will have further information on that as well. As a result, we are going to turn it over to the clerks to get us started. Thank you for your attention. Hey, Jack, how are you? Are these all yours? Fantastic. Let's see. City of Kennesaw versus Richard Velasquez. Oh, righty. And is he here today? Yeah, plea sheet. I got a plea proceeding record and a waiver. Did he do a plea in absentia? Let me look back through the file. I must just got it shuffled in. There's an entry. That's all right. All right. Mr. Klein, tell me all about it. All right, and I see that he's completed, signed, and had notarized the plea in absentia affidavit. And have you reviewed with him his constitutional rights? And does he understand the rights and the rights he's waived? Very good. And is Mr. Velasquez a U.S. citizen? All right. To the best of your knowledge, is anyone making him or forcing him to enter this plea today? All right. Well, I'll accept the plea in absentia of guilty to speeding 11 to 14 over. I find that the plea is freely and voluntarily entered and that there's a factual basis for the plea. Sentence of the court is a fine of $158 to be remitted in stanter, and that will complete and close the case. Here. Good order. And let's see, next would be Forster. Let's see, the fine amount would be $195. Okay. And there's her plain abstention. And have you reviewed with your client her constitutional rights and the rights she's waiving by entering into this plea? And do you believe that she understands those rights and understands what rights she's waiving? All right. And this would be, she'd be entering a plea of guilty to a speeding 11 to 14 over $195 fee. All right. Will you stipulate to a factual basis? All right. Is your client a United States citizen? Okay. All right. Well, I'll accept the plea of guilty to speeding 11 to 14 over in stanter. In absentia. Find that the plea is freely and voluntarily given and that there's a factual basis for the plea. The sentence of the court is a fine of $195 to be paid to the clerk today, and that will complete and close the case. It was 11 to 14? Yes. Yes, 11 to 14. Carmen. Carmen? Right, speeding 11 to 14 over, entering a plea of guilty, fine amount of $365, and a defensive driving school. Has that been completed? Let's see here. Do you have a copy?
That's with national safety. Clientele are concerned about doing these first.
I understand completely.
If they're going to express their concerns to me, then I can tell them. As long as it's not the comedy school.
Yeah.
Usually I tell them national safety counselor is on it.
Is this, does DDS accept this?
I don't honestly know if they do.
Okay.
Demands and positions, so.
And this is National Highway Safety Administration, so it's the
I would think that
NHSA.
would be
Yeah,
better than copies.
Yeah. All right, and so, let's see here. Have you reviewed with your client his constitutional rights and the rights he's waiving by entering into this plea? And do you believe he understands those rights and the rights he's waiving? Is your client a United States citizen? Will you stipulate to a factual basis for the purpose of the plea?
Yes.
All right. I'll accept the plea of guilty in absentia to speeding 11 to 14 over. I find that the plea is freely and voluntarily given and that there's a factual basis for the plea. The sentence of the court is a fine of $365 and completion of the defensive driving school, which has been completed, and proof is provided to the court. So upon payment of the fine, that'll complete and close the case. And let's see, Estes. Let me give you one copy back, because I got two of that. We're going to want that for your file. Okay, speeding 11 to 14 over, entering a plea of guilty, fine amount of $280. And let's see here. Got the plea of abstention and the waiver of jury trial. Do you have the plea proceeding record for Mr. Estes? Let me see if it's already in the file. If not, actually, the plea of abstention that you got does cover this, same rights, and same information. All right, have you reviewed with your client his constitutional rights?
Yes.
And do you believe he understands his rights? Okay. And the rights he'll be waiving? Is your client a United States citizen? And will you stipulate to a factual basis? Okay, plea of abstention is in order. I'll accept the plea of guilty in abstention to speeding 11 to 14 over. I find the plea is freely and voluntarily given and there's a factual basis for the plea. Sentence of the court is a fine of $280 to be remitted in stanter, and that will complete and close the case. Last but not least, Colclasure. All right. Do you have the bind over? Absolutely. Reckless racing. I see. Linda had to run upstairs for a moment. She'll be back in a minute. There we go. I just need a copy of that. I'll grant the motion, bind the matter over. Very good. Always a pleasure to see you. City of Kennesaw versus Nana Osei Sarpong. Good afternoon. How are you?
Well, Judge, good afternoon. I have a motion for a bind over here, Your Honor, if I could
Okay.
approach.
If you'll just hand it up, we'll go ahead and get you taken care of. See, and he's got charges of DUI and improper lane change.
Correct, Your Honor.
All right, matter shall be bound over.
Thank you, Your Honor. And before I leave, I was speaking with a probation officer about a matter that's not before Your Honor's calendar today. Is Your Honor doing any production orders at the moment from Cobb County Jail to this courtroom for a probation revocation?
We're not. What we would do is have a hold upon them. And when Cobb County would be having them released, we would then go to Cobb County and transport them back to the jail here and then have a hearing that way. And we do those hearings via Skype. And you'd be, of course, more than welcome to participate in that as well.
Okay. So they'd have to resolve whatever matters, keeping them in Cobb first prior to then
Correct.
being resolved here.
Yes. Okay. And I'm assuming you're saying this because we have place to hold?
Correct, Your Honor.
Yeah. Then Kennesaw won't go get him until his business in Cobb is complete.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for your guidance on that.
You're welcome. You're
All
welcome.
right. Have a good day.
You too. Okay, Mr. Greco. I believe that catches us up. All right, let me know as soon as there's anything ready to be heard.
Can't breathe with it. This thing.
Sweet lady, not the rest of them.
Gina, finance? Little lady? Gina?
That lady, that's being an extra.
No, this is Lena.
Being,
Little tiny. Yeah, she's not my boss anymore. If they put us under this again. What is it, worst? Yeah.
anyway, she came up last week, she came up, I just remember what she looked like. Are you here before?
She's very nice. I was really, I have.
I was impressed with her, with all of you, really.
She's the best. Now I have the assistants to be in.
Not so much.
This is being important.
Different.
I mean, it's very nice. Dina, months ago, I wouldn't see her or hear from her.
Yeah.
One day, one day, just started finding me.
They're gonna appreciate it. You know, I'm not doing my job, call me. Tell me what's going on.
Well, see, that was, Gina used to send us all of the things that I talked about at the meeting. And then I was switched, I never knew what was going on. So I went to the staff. I'm not a department head. Sometimes. But they said that there is no department head. Yes. But they're in the charter that business. And that's fine, what's around there, I think. Oh, I see. So, so he's got one in Cleveland. This is worse. In Randall, they came about worse. This is worse too. She's got two, I guess.
Any other attorneys here?
Hey, this is Linda. I'm done the report. I just put this in one that you clear. I don't have the warrant number. Uh-huh. Last name is Shannon, S-H-A-N-N-O-N. First name is Malik, M-A-L-I-K. 4/12/2001. Last name. You can make it. It's 200-8108. 0. This is Rebecca? Okay. Thank you. I wonder if it's the same as all the solar. I'll go look. I don't think that's possible. I'll go.
Are you ready?
I just ran up there, I could approach Ben real quick.
Okay.
We don't have the file.
Miranda came and
Mr. Greco? Yes, please. I had the file here for your case, but I think Mr. Bentley has it. Oh, okay. Yes, sir. That warrant, yeah.
The FDA,
Mhm.
I think we worked it out. Some reason, not be able to go on with that. We basically got support.
Mhm.
And we called it, the random kind of really roll it over the next 2 weeks.
That's fine.
When the sign was, maybe it's recalled.
Well, let's find out. I think I saw in the file that it was recalled.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
brought it out. And,
You know,
I think they took it back.
recall.
yeah, I believe it was. When I looked at it earlier, I saw the warrant and then I saw it was recalled. So it should be, but let's make sure it's in the computer that way too.
8/4.
Yeah, it's been recalled.
So today.
Very good. Super. No worries. We're glad to, it's always good to see you and we'll look forward to seeing you again next week. Okay. And anything else ready? This is a little bit of a, let's see. Are y'all here for the 3 o'clock calendar? Anyone here for 3? Who's here for 2? For 2. Okay. Then let's go over some general announcements, and some of you may have already heard these, so I apologize in advance. But my name is Judge Mays. This is the City of Kennesaw Municipal Court. Today's plea and arraignment day. We have a